So the producer is really in charge of making sure everything happens that's supposed to happen. There's different steps that are supposed to happen in different orders, and there's documents to be filled out, and there's things to be done and recorded and turned in. So there's a lot that needs to happen. There's different crew members with different jobs, and we want to make sure there's someone there to make sure everything is working and getting done. That's basically your job. So if you look at your slide, you make sure everyone watches the video together, pausing when needed. Then you can see that you went through what podcasting is and the formats, and you talked about what your jobs you wanted to pick, and you discussed that, and now you're here on the task card. You chose producer, and here are those kind of little things you need to follow. Is the first thing, make sure everyone goes through these different steps, the student workflow in the order. And student workflow is going to take a lot of time. That's where there's a lot of work, a lot of documentation that's being done by the writer, but everyone is collaborating and giving their contributions to what they think should be on those documents, but the writer is the one that enters them in. They're the note taker, so to say. And then make sure that everything gets recorded and that your sound engineer, is working on their task card of selecting how they're going to record and knowing how they're going to edit and making those decisions and getting everything set up. And then you have the actual graphic designer that's going to be working on the artwork, make sure everyone's doing their job, so that way when it all needs to come together, you can turn it in. You're in charge of slide 15. You'll work with a graphic designer on that as well. That's your promotional ad that kind of hype your podcast or advertise or promote it. That's going to be turned in on the actual Padlet. So make sure that you and the graphic designer work on slide 15, export it as an image. Then in Padlet, import it, and then put the link to the podcast, and then you'll be done with all your duties as the producer.